Hello, welcome back to Open. Our next guest is a stand-up comedian who moved from Texas to find a better life for his son. His new book gives a lighthearted look at living with an autistic son. Please welcome to the studio, Kirk Smith.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Now, we just need to acknowledge that April is Autistic Awareness Month.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Now, what exactly is autistic awareness?
Well, it's a good question. To me, it means just that people be aware. You know, when I meet strangers in the streets, I don't expect them to actually start scientific research to look for a cure themselves, but just that they'd be aware that we're all equal, but we're all different, and we all have different skills and abilities, and to just treat people with a little bit of grace and compassion when you meet them in the street or the supermarket, and they're clearly just different than you.
You know, being the father of an autistic son, I had read somewhere that you have experienced incidents where your son just like randomly takes off his clothes in public places.
That's 100% true.
And you know, it's really great to be able to find humor in situations and just share with us what kind of reactions you get from that.
To be honest, if we're on the 6 train, no big deal. Obviously, it's
Right,
a 6 train.
right.
But he loves to get naked. He has what's called tactile issues, which means he can feel his clothes, and so it's uncomfortable. So from time to time, he'll try to take off his clothes, like at a supermarket or somewhere. And so yeah, it's just it's an exciting ride, I gotta say. And so
Even if it's cold?
even if it's cold, yeah, he has no aversion to the cold. Yeah, oh, 100%.
And it just happens randomly?
Yes, you got to keep an eye on him.
It doesn't happen all the time.
No, but it's every week. It's every week. Every week. And he's not a child. He's 14, and he's about my size. He's a big kid, so it's an adventure. It's 100% an adventure. So no, I talk about it on stage, and it's most of my act, and then I decided to write a book about it.
Yeah, no, which is really cool. Which brings me to the title, Rice Krispies and Ketchup. Oh, where did that? Oh, just the combination alone. I'm like,
it sounds disgusting.
Yeah, Rice
I get it,
Krispies
100%.
and ketchup. Yuck.
But it's like an analogy for life, where things that you don't initially think can be okay are actually okay. Like he loves, those are his 2 favorite things, Rice Krispies with ketchup on top. And so that's where the title comes from, that like things that in your mind sound disgusting or you're a little resistant to, if you gave them a chance, just like an interaction with a disabled person, it could be much better than you think.
Have you ever tasted it?
I have, as the father, of course. I go, what's the fuss about? Because
Rice
every day
Krispies.
was the Rice Krispies and ketchup, and so now we're in the Bronx now, so now we changed it to just rice and ketchup, which is a little more palatable.
Right.
But it's like arroz con pollo, arroz con salsa tomate.
Yeah,
so
exacto.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you know, it's like, wow, that's interesting. And then you titled your book, Rice Krispies and Ketchup. And so, in your process, right, because let's just share a little bit about autism.
Sure.
and the impact it had on you when you first realized that your son was autistic.
Well, you know, I make a lot of jokes about it, and I've turned it into something funny. But to be honest, it's a very difficult, heartbreaking situation for a lot of people. It can be a lifelong commitment to somebody who's going to need constant care, and that's why I wrote the book. That it would be a source of encouragement and hope to people that your life isn't over. It's 100% different.
Right.
And it's not what you thought, but your life isn't over, and it's just a new adventure and a new challenge.
And it's really nice that you were able to, you know, find humor in your situations. Like, just if you don't mind sharing, what are some of the things that he does that you're able to, you know, just kind of, I'm sure you went through trivial moments where you had to exercise patience, but now have come like to a place of just saying, hey, these are the cards that were dealt.
Everything is just slightly different. Just like the food items are the same, in and of themselves, Rice Krispies isn't exceptional and ketchup's not exceptional, but it's the unusual combination. For the nudity is one example. He kind of has the mind of a child, so as he's turned into a man, as all men do, and this is television, so I'm cleaning the story up.
Right.
But
PG rated.
Yes, this is the PG rated version, of course. But he's excited about his changes, and so I just realized I can't tell that story. But he's excited about his changes as he gets older.
I already know what the story is.
Yeah, you know where the story's
okay,
going.
I think everybody else got
yeah,
it.
but you can read it. It's in the book.
Okay.
The book's PG, 100%.
Okay.
But it's I have a little more literary license to expand on it in a book form. Yeah, of course, 100%.
Okay, so do you think that somebody who is a parent to an autistic child will actually learn from it, or is it a relatable book? Like, is it more to relate? Is it just for parents of autistic
Excellent
children?
question. It's not, because if I wrote just to parents, it's basically my stand-up act expanded, and then there's stories that are too long and not punchy enough for stand-up, but are funny, but it's not written towards parents of autistic kids. If you have an autistic kid, you'll think I'm a genius. But if you don't, you should still find it funny.
So yourself.
Yeah, well, it's because it's like I'm speaking at you from a place that you like. I didn't think anybody else was feeling this exactly this way and can make it funny. But if you don't, it should be 100% funny. Otherwise, they wouldn't book me at the clubs in New York City. It has to be funny to you if you're a frat guy, if you're a, you're a 19-year-old girl, or you're a 60-year-old woman and you don't even have children. It should be funny to you as a human being. I think that pain connects us as humans, and the ability to look at something difficult and painful and really humanize it, and it makes a connection with somebody. And yeah, you don't have to have a connection with mental illness specifically to find this funny. Yeah, you should enjoy the book.
Okay, so what are some of the, I guess, the challenges that you have had to overcome in raising your 14-year-old?
He's very physical, one thing. He likes to headbutt. I know that sounds unusual, but when he's affectionate, he gets in your face and wants to make contact, kind of like the Maoris do. I don't know if you're familiar with in New Zealand, the Maoris, the indigenous people, touch heads. And he does that very physical. He's very physical with his things.
When you say physical, you mean like
wrestling physical,
right,
like he's pulling on your arms.
Something and said it wasn't a tap.
It's a nice way of saying, yeah, no, it's a headbutt. It's it's a headbutt, and he breaks everything. Like we've had jam shoved into all of our DVD players and VCRs, and anything that's breakable, he can break it. We always joke that IKEA should pay us to test their things because we submit them to the kind of testing that they're not accustomed to. Yeah, he can break everything. He's just he's big, he's 108 pounds. Like, he'll rock on a chair. He's broken all of our living room furniture, all our dining room furniture. What are some other challenges? The nudity is always a challenge. He wasn't potty trained until he was about 10, 11, which is obviously a challenge when you have a grown man. He's not nonverbal. He says about 6 words. So obviously you want to hear your son say, "I love you." He has never said that. There's just different challenges that there's no other way to call them. They're challenging things, yeah, in life. But I think that's what life's about, is addressing these challenges, adjusting, and overcoming.
So it sounds to me like the book is more about just life and in general, even though it's geared towards your personal experience.
Right. I'm writing from a place that I know about. They say write what you know, which is raising an autistic son. But it's geared, it's a message of hope that I hope everybody can connect to at some level, about adjusting to life. All of us have challenges. I mean, I don't care where you live, if you live in the Bronx or Texas or Louisiana or LA, all of us have things that we've gone through or will go through, whether it's parents' Alzheimer's or maybe a disabled child or your own personal health. But it's a story of inspiration and hope, and it's funny. And I hope that you should be laughing when you're reading it. It's,
awesome. Awesome. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
And tell everybody where they can get the book.
Yes, the book will be available this week. Comes out on Amazon.
Nice.
This next week. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. And if you'd like to see me in New York City, the next big event we're having Autism Speaks benefit at the Comic Strip Live, which is on 82nd and 2nd Street, 8:30, the 21st. The proceeds from the door go towards the message of raising awareness for autism and a school in Asia they're trying to launch. And we're excited. Tom Papa will be there, and also a couple other famous comedians that you've heard of.
Nice. Thank you so much,
Thank
Kirk
you so much
Smith.
for having me again.
All right. Then, of course, your website is hilarious, too, the title. For more on Kirk, check him out at stoppingpuncheswithmyface.com. What an interesting website name. And on Twitter at Kirk Smith Comedy. All right. We'll be right back with illustrator Allison Braun. Don't go anywhere.